Hiya.
Hello, you okay?
I was just eating a bounty.
No worries. Oh, there you are.
Very
I'll let
nice.
you. I'll let you finish your bounty. Is it all gone? The
Oh,
coconutty goodness, is it?
I love a bounty.
Yeah, no, I don't mind them. Criminally underrated chocolates, I would say.
Well, ever since they got rid of the cardboard little sleeve underneath, broke my heart that John Shuttleworth did a fantastic song about it called Mutiny on the Bounty.
I'll check it out.
Really, really good song. Well worth a listen.
I believe you're in some aircraft troubles on the on Wednesday, so hopefully you're all feeling a bit better today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's weird in Mallorca in August for some strange reason, which no one's ever told me about. You always get massive storms,
Mm,
really big storms. Now, because of global warming, they've got worse.
yeah.
Luckily for us, they all come from the Atlantic, and Ibiza gets it all.
Mm,
So by the time it gets to Mallorca, it's much more docile,
yeah.
usually. What's happened now because of global warming is Ibiza's getting obliterated, and they're
Mm,
still really powerful when they get to us in Mallorca.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was weird because honestly, it was one of the most beautiful mornings I'd ever seen.
Mm,
I was looking out on the balcony and I was like, wow, it looks absolutely gorgeous. We got to the airport and you could see it start to cloud over. And literally, the plane was leaving at 12:15. They
mm.
got us on about 12:30. And then the storm hit, and it's like Twister, that new film. It was like that.
Yeah.
Hell. And we were in the plane, and the bloody plane was moving.
Mm.
And we had to sit there for 3 hours till it was over.
No,
And
it's a
then we made a
nightmare.
run for it. Yeah. And some of our friends were stuck in the terminal. They were
Mm.
there for 7 hours, and then they cancelled all the flights.
Jesus.
Yeah, so the storms carried on for about a day or two, but I believe today you'd think nothing happened.
Yeah.
And it's
Were
clear.
you just on holiday out there then, or was it?
No, we've got a little apartment there,
Mm.
and we've lived in Mallorca for about 24 years now.
All right. Ah,
Don't ask me to
interesting.
speak Spanish.
I've
Una
been doing my
cerveza, por
Duolingo, so
favor. That is about But then again, actually, it's a lot better than most of my people that I know over there who can't
yeah.
speak anything. The English is so lazy, and the weird thing is that if you sit in a restaurant and a German comes in,
Mm.
he talks to the Spanish waiter in English, and the waiter answers in English. If a Dutchman comes in, he speaks to the waiter in English.
Yeah.
You don't
Makes you
need
yeah.
to do
Makes you
anything.
feel kind of like embarrassed a bit, like
Well, yeah, but you're like, yeah, well, it
yeah.
appeals to your laziness, but I do keep every year I go back. I keep saying this is the year I'm going to learn. Downloaded that Duolingo app about
Yeah.
50 times. You have to get rid of it because it drives you crazy. But anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna say though, when you finally learn, they'll just start talking to you in English anyway, won't they? So it's all good.
well, yeah, I mean, getting the accent is the tricky one. So I've actually managed because our friend is English Spanish. She taught me the accent,
Mm.
and I say, una cerveza por favor, whatever, and they go, "Oh, you speak Spanish in Spanish," and then I have to go, which is even more embarrassing. No, I only know the bit. I'm like, oh, you
Yeah,
can't win.
yeah. That's where it stopped.
But anyway, I'm a very lucky boy. I do know that.
Yeah, let's talk about the music then. We'll go the Substance tour October and November this year. Some people are quite hesitant about revisiting back catalogs, but you seem to revel in it. So, what is it you enjoy about
What is it I enjoy about it? I suppose I didn't enjoy the fact that New Order as a group never looked at their back catalogue,
them?
but insisted on playing the same 17 songs over and over again for years and years.
Mm,
And Bernard didn't like the rocky stuff. He'd gone off it
mm,
and he wouldn't play it.
yeah.
So it was just eternally frustrating from my point of view, you know.
Mm,
And it wasn't that actually that. you know, you'd try to change the set list every time we played.
Mm.
But sometimes it was successful in a small way, and sometimes it just wasn't at all.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the biggest problem, it has to be said. But when we split up in 2007, I DJ'd for 3 years all over the world. Had a great time. And everybody was always asking me for New Order songs, and I'd never play them.
Yeah.
When I DJ'd, I just wouldn't do it. It just didn't seem right somehow
Yeah.
to me. That changed after a few years, but at that time it didn't seem right. And getting paid to play other people's music was great, really good. I really enjoyed that.
Mm.
But being not allowed to sort of play my own, because
Mm.
Barney and Steve were long gone, we were all doing something else, and I must admit it was yeah. I really felt a sense of loss. What happened was that as we came up to 2010, which was 30 years of Ian Curtis's life, I wanted to celebrate it because I was aware of the fact that when we were together as New Order, we only ever thought about New Order. We never thought about Joy Division. And once New Order had split, and I sat there, I thought, God, it's really weird how we never celebrated 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years. And Joy Division was getting bigger and bigger and more influential all the time. And we never celebrated anything to do with it. We played the music twice at a charity gig. And Barney said he didn't like it. He said it was miserable.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that. And I just thought, you know what? I can't let this go. I cannot let this go.
Mm.
30 years of Ian Curtis's life. So I was trying to figure out a way to play it. And then I read an interview with Bobby Gillespie. Bobby Gillespie was talking about Screamadelica.
Yeah.
And he was saying how the songs that he ignored on the LP were now his favorites. And he wanted to play the LP in full so that he could do both and feature it as a record, which was a moment in time from beginning to end. And I thought, wow, you know what? That's sort of like us with Closer. You know, we never got to play it. And, you know, now you want to celebrate it. I thought, shit, why don't I do that? So it was as simple as that. And I thought we could play Unknown Pleasures. I didn't want to sound like the group because obviously I can't sound like Joy Division.
Yeah.
Joy Division were very different live to on record. They were much punkier, much more edgy live. On record, we actually, thanks to Martin Hannett, ended up being quite polished, quite mature. And I thought that most people have heard the record because they've never seen the group.
Yeah.
There's very little footage. So I thought, right, that was it. That's what I'll do. I'll celebrate Unknown Pleasures and I'll play it in full as Peter Hook and the Light. So I won't have to pretend, which I think is disgusting, to pretend to be the group. It was as simple as that. And I didn't know whether anyone was going to come. I had a few hairy moments, wondering, would anybody be bothered that I was playing it?
Well, I was going to say, did you think it would still be going today?
No, I believe you me, mate, I did not. You see, the thing is that the reaction on the internet and on all these fan sites and all that was really negative. And I didn't want to sing. I wanted to play bass.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I've always only ever wanted to do. And I had three vocalists lined up, and the internet scared them off.
Right.
It really did frighten them.
What was the negativity? Was it just about like
No, you
leave
can't
the
be
songs
doing
be
this. You
kind of
shouldn't
thing?
be doing this. You know, the usual thing. How dare you? And I thought, right, God, how dare I want to play my own music?
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really strange. I mean, you know, everybody says that, don't they? Oh, you should ignore it. But it's like when you're doing a gig, and I noticed this mostly when I got sober. When you'd have 10,000 people in a hall DJing, and there'd be one kid going, oh, you know, and the other 9,999 are having a great time. But you focus on that one kid.
Yeah.
And he ruins it for you. And I think that that's what social media is like. Social media is like hundreds of those kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you tend to focus on it. So yeah, I mean, the singers were scared. They quit, and I had to sing.
Yeah.
So, and then once I started doing it, and I got the songs back,
Mm.
my son was playing bass, and he was exactly the same age as I was when I did it the first time round, which was
Yeah.
really weird. And I got the songs back. I thought, I don't want to let these songs go. And we worked through Unknown Pleasures, and we worked through Closer. And then we got to New Order.
Mm.
Thought, well, I don't want to pretend to be New Order. I'll leave that to them. Um, so we started playing the record,
Mm.
celebrating the sound of New Order. And yeah, once I play these songs, I wouldn't want to let them go. It's
Yeah.
like we're doing Substances now, and
Yeah.
we sort of warm up for the LP by playing a few of the B-sides that are on Substance. The CD was much longer.
Yeah.
Vinyl was actually quite a short, just a two-sided single. So but I'm so worried about losing the other songs that I've started sneaking them all in, getting them
Yeah.
all in, and like, oh God. And the boys, I mean, we had a list today, we were practicing today, and we had a list, and I kept adding more. Oh, let's do that one, let's do that one, because I spent so long without them. It actually
Yeah.
breaks my heart to let any of them go. And it's
Yeah.
actually fantastic for me because the boys in the light together, we can probably play. If somebody could do a Bruce Springsteen, where he was going, shout out a song,
Yeah.
we'll play it.
Yeah.
We could actually do that.
Mm.
And we've played every song that Joy Division ever wrote and recorded. We're well on the way to doing, we're playing Get Ready next year in full. So we're
Yeah.
well on the way to doing nearly every song New Order. And what surprised me with New Order, which I'd never noticed, is that a lot of the songs on the LPs have never been played.
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
actually quite surprised.
Well, like you
Quite.
said, it was probably because if it was a rigid set list of sort
Well,
of
yeah, but I mean, also it's interesting with songs because what happens is when you start practicing the songs that you've written, some of them
mm.
sound great and some of them sound a bit dodgy, and you can't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Some of them are great to play and some of them are hard to play. So what we used to do as New Order was we used to go for the easy ones and leave the hard ones. But now
Yeah.
that you're playing the LPs, obviously, you haven't got a choice. You have
Are
to
they as
play
hard as you
every
remember?
song. Yeah, you have to do it. So it's actually made me much more studious
Yeah.
as a musician.
Mm.
It's actually given me a wonderful understanding of Ian Curtis in a way through singing and delving into his lyrics.
Mm.
Most of New Order's lyrics and vocals were written by the three of us, me, Barney, and Steve.
Mm.
So it's a sort of a different feel to that. But yeah, you don't want to let those songs go. And I mean, it is difficult when sometimes I think, oh God, I should be playing more new stuff.
Mm.
But this is a Substance tour, and
Yeah.
people are coming to listen to Substance. They
Yeah. Well,
don't.
like you said, when there was people who kind of were negative online, there'll have been so many more that this is exactly what they'd been wanting to hear. So
Well, yeah, and do you know what? I'm happy to do it because the
mm.
thing is that I'm happy to relive those great moments of the
Mm.
songs. Happy to sort of put yourself away for a little
Yeah.
while. The world is a fucking crazy place. I don't know if you've
Mm.
noticed, and it's getting
Just a bit.
worse.
Yeah.
So really, those moments when you let your mind and your body go and
Mm.
go into that safe place, if you like, which is usually the past, because the future's not looking too good, mate. If you're going to go on holiday, get it in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually looking that bad. So the thing is that I'm happy to go on that journey with the people
Yeah.
because I miss those songs so much,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful to catch that atmosphere. Substance, New Order, the songs on it are very poppy. They're very well known. It's a very, very good contrast to Joy Division, Substance, which is
Well, I
a
was
lot
going to ask about
harder.
that. Yeah. How do you manage that contrast? Like when within the set, how do you work the set when you're playing both?
Well, I suppose in a funny way, God, that's a question, isn't it? The thing is that I did notice when we started out in 2010, once we started playing New Order and Joy Division, there'd be a bit of a division, bum,
You're part of the fun.
in that when you were playing New Order, all the people in Joy Division t-shirts would go to the bar. And when you were playing Joy Division, all the people in New Order t-shirts would go to the bar. But the division, bum, seems less now. So it's more, so whether I've educated people or whether people have decided to give each other band more of a chance, you know, once your audience is there, they tend to stick with you. And I'm delighted. So you have a great smattering of Joy Division t-shirts, great smattering of New Order t-shirts, and you can get through it. I think that there's a good route with the light on both sides. It's been fairly obvious for a long time that we were very passionate about what we were doing, and we wanted to make sure that we were celebrating the sound completely. When I listen to the others sometimes, I wonder where the sound has gone. And then I think, oh yeah, I've got it. Because believe you me, I don't know if you've heard them, but they don't sound much like New Order.
No.
So it's a bit, you know, we've obviously found our niche here, Barney and I wanted to keep us sounding the way we were, and he wanted to go somewhere else. And he seems to have got his wish. So maybe it's, you know, the fans are still there, you know.
I didn't realize there was such a split that you just talked about, kind of between the fan base. I'd assume it was quite mixed, or like it carried over in a way. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. I was at a party on Saturday night, funnily enough, in Mallorca, and this kid came. I didn't know him, stranger. He was a friend of a friend, and he turned up at the party, and it took him a while to figure out who I was, and he went to great lengths to telling me how much he loved New Order, but hated Joy Division. And I was like going, mate, you sort of scooting on thin ice here.
Yeah.
You know, it was, but people sometimes are very much like that. But I think that with the light, I think that because we actually have a much broader appeal with the songs, we pick a lot of songs that people aren't very familiar with. I think that has brought people round. I think some of the rockier New Order stuff has brought the Joy Division fans round. And if you like, some of the dancier Joy Division stuff that wasn't very well known has brought the New Order fans round. Now, they're because it's the same band playing them, there is a great backbone to both. And I think that we've actually, if I'm going to blow my own trumpet, I'd say we've actually much lessened the divide now. And people know when they come to see us. And I'm very grateful to be in such great company when they come to see us, that we play in both and we can all enjoy both.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that is, I mean, you know, the band enjoy playing it. I love it. So I think when you're watching and listening to something, it will bring you on board.
Yeah.
Luckily.
You just mentioned that the person at the party who was younger and he liked New Order. You still see like people who are quite young walking around in like Unknown Pleasures t-shirts as well, don't you? How do you like see the legacy now, especially on young musicians and fans coming through? Do you think it's still prevalent?
Oh my God, it's more prevalent than ever. People send me examples all the time. Listen to this band, they sound just like Joy Division. Now the thing is that I always take it as a compliment. Even if someone, you know, emulates my bass sound or whatever and uses it to great effect, I'll take it as a compliment. You know, it's I mean, it's God, how can you put that across? When someone comes up to you and says, "You inspired me to do this," and you know, I'm very grateful. I'm a great fan. Now, I suppose I should look at it the other way. When I went up to Glenn Matlock and said, "You inspired me," I said, "This is all your fault, you bastard." I was watching him on telly this morning, and he always goes, "Oh, fuck off, Hooky, not again." Oh God, it's like, because every time I see him, I say, "This is all your fault. This is all your fault." He's such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, to inspire someone the way that they
Mm.
inspired us. I mean, I was just a normal kid. I was working 9 to 5 in Manchester Town Hall.
Mhm.
I was confused about where I was going. I didn't really wasn't happy. I was very full of nervous about the future. What was I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to make myself happy? I was very confused with what I was doing, which is a
Mm.
normal teenage thing. I was 19. And the thing is that when I saw the Sex Pistols, for some unknown reason, I thought I could do that. Now, I'd been
Mm.
to see Led Zeppelin the week before.
Mm.
When I watched Led Zeppelin, I didn't think, God, I could do that.
Yeah.
I fucking knew I couldn't do that. I can do it now, enough to an extent, but I couldn't do that. And yet, when I saw the Sex Pistols, I thought I could do that, which was the
Mm.
craziest thought in the world because I'd never played a musical instrument. I didn't own a musical instrument.
Mm.
Barney had a guitar, which he messed about with, but he couldn't play it. And we
Mm.
walked out of there as a group.
Yeah.
Then your bloody problems began because
Mm.
you were so focused on this finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow
Yeah.
that being in a group took precedence over everything. And I'm sure my wife would tell you now, it probably takes precedence over everything now,
Mm.
even,
I'm assuming.
now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing. So when someone comes up to you and says, God, I mean, the ones that are the most, when people come up to you and say, you saved my life. I was in hospital, I was really poorly, and I listened to Unknown Pleasures all the time, and it gave me hope. They're the wonderful moments,
Yeah.
because I have those moments, and I've had those moments in my life with
Mm.
David Bowie, Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, John Cale, all those people
Mm.
where people have helped me through something. The power of music is amazing. So when I expect and hope that everybody who hears our music, I know not everybody, but most people will appreciate it
Yeah.
and want to listen to it and hopefully want to hear it live,
Yeah.
etc., etc. And the younger they get, it's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like traffic wardens. All of a sudden they're dead young. Policemen, they're all of a sudden dead young.
Yeah.
Fans, all of a sudden they're dead young. And if I had £1 for every kid that comes up to me and goes, "Oh, my dad used to play it in the car all the time,
Mm.
and I love it now." He said hello, and I said, "Well, tell your dad hello." So it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
Families
don't know if
coming
you've
together.
I was going to say, I
Are
don't know if you've heard the 1975's "Give Yourself a Try," but that definitely took some influence from Joy Division. I don't know
Oh
if
right,
you.
okay. I think we actually gave him a bollocking for that and got 25. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I've known Matt since he was 9.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
my
Because
next
he
door
was
neighbour.
Cheshire,
He,
wasn't he?
he lives
Yeah.
just down the road. Yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
know his mum really well and his dad. So yeah, it's quite. And I took that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imitation, kind of the best form of
Yeah,
flattery.
sincerest form of flattery,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt. And I mean, it was funny. I went to see him play at Manchester Arena,
Mm.
and great concert. I mean,
Yeah.
he is a very unique frontman, I have to say, and they're a very interesting group. But when he came off and I was talking to him afterwards, I said, "Have you been listening to a lot of Eno?" And he went, "Oh, oh, oh." I said, "How did you know?" I said, "Fucking hell, you can kid a kidder, mate." But yeah, it was
Yeah.
obviously been listening to a lot of Eno. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is the greatest thing in the world. When Barney and I began playing, we played punk records and just aped them.
Mm.
The Damned, Sex Pistols, and
Yeah.
that was our starting point. So that was our inspiration. Punk was slightly different in that, Glenn Matlock was talking about it this morning when he was saying it was such a way of life that
Mm.
was so unique then,
Yeah.
and the anarchy side of it and the wanting to be true to yourself and be true to other people
Yeah.
was the bit that I bought into, the being nice, watching those punks,
Yeah. Just
rebellion in Blackpool, beating up the far right.
yeah.
No, you
So is
had
that
it in a nutshell there.
yeah? So you are you talking about how it's kind of relevant also
Yeah, I mean, I
today as
think
well, subculture.
the sympathies are relevant today. If you
Mm,
bring it right back to Substance, Substance
mm,
is an LP, New Order,
mm.
because we believed as punks that you should not release your record twice. So if it was a single, you shouldn't put it on the LP.
All right.
And we got
Okay.
our biggest, most successful LP from it. I mean, how things have changed, you
I was
know.
going to
So
say,
we
yeah,
thought,
it's now
we
strange
quite
if you
naive.
don't.
Yeah, we thought, well, if it's been on the LP,
Mm,
then you don't have it as a single. And if it's been out as a single, then you don't put it on the LP. Because why would somebody want to pay for a track twice?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've just grown up with the opposite now. It's just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
normal. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Um,
really strange to get an LP like Substance because, in a funny way, that's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating that this record is different because it was a collection of records,
mm,
singles, all of them long singles that people told us you could not put out. Blue
mm.
Monday banned by Radio 1 for being too long. Nothing to do with the music.
Yeah,
Banned for being too long.
yeah.
And they asked us to do an edit. And
Mm.
we said, piss off, we're not doing an edit. No chance.
Yeah.
So they banned it. Oh, of course, when we got older, we did an edit, mate.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah.
and as soon as the first remixes appeared, they were all
Yeah.
shorter because
Mm.
whilst we had our ideals, the record company didn't
Yeah.
share, the factory did, but not when we moved. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to inspire kids
Yeah.
because when people ask me about seeing the Sex Pistols and why I decided to form a group, and then why we went with an independent label, and why Tony Wilson was so big in our lives, shaped our futures, and then why did you do the Hacienda? And the Hacienda went on to begat Acid House, Post Punk,
Mm.
Manchester.
Yeah.
Just absolutely amazing how many wonderful things that we've inspired ourselves. So when someone
Yeah.
comes along and says that to you, it is
Well,
fantastic because it hasn't been
post-punk
easy.
as well.
Yeah, it hasn't been
Post-punk
easy.
particularly, yeah, it's
Yeah,
made a
it's been
resurgence.
really difficult to do that. I mean, I've not seen many other groups entertain a city at their own cost for 17 years the way that we did with the Hacienda.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting, Tony. We always used to have the same argument with our manager, Rob
Mm.
Gret, in that he would always say, "We've made mistakes, we've lost a lot of money, but we've got a
Mm.
legacy that will last forever." Now, of course, we were younger, so we'd be going, "Oh, piss off! I just want to pay my gas bill and go to Greece." Oh, come on, give me a break. You know what I mean? And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you're here 48 years after I began,
Mm.
and you're thinking, "Oh my God, yeah, the legacy
Mm.
and the example that you've held up to people is really important."
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why New Order split, was because I felt I was living a lie in New Order.
Mm.
It was so toxic,
Yeah.
whether that was down to me or whatever.
Well, no, it's commendable that you kind of stayed true to yourself, been authentic, and
Yeah,
moved in the direction that you want to move.
I mean, someone did say you're sort of addicted to started again. Someone
Well,
said
you
that.
tried all the different albums, haven't you, with the
Yeah,
tours?
yeah,
So
yeah,
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 tinkering with different
yeah. I
bits.
mean, and do you know what? It's given me such a love for our music all over again,
Mm.
and Enjoy Division in particular, to get closer, because we never played it. When Ian
Mm.
died, we shelved it. We had nothing to do with it. The record company released it, but we never didn't do any press. I
Mm.
never looked at a review for it. I was telling somebody the other day, I drove to Stretford to tax my car,
Mm.
and Lovell Terrace Park came on the radio straight in at number 11.
Mm.
Fucking turned it off. And now I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the fact that you were so affected with it, but to get closer back as a record for me and be able to play it
Yeah.
live, because we'd never played it, was absolutely wonderful. I mean, I do hope really that Barney and Steve get the opportunity to play though I know they do play some of those songs, but to play
Yeah,
the LP as a whole was
yeah,
amazing. Brought
yeah,
Ian back in to the room, if you
mm,
like, you know. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, celebrating them is easy. It
mm,
really is. Not
yeah,
being with them was tough.
yeah.
That was the
Well,
tough bit. And if anybody wants to join me to celebrate,
yeah,
however old they are, it's absolutely fine by me. And it is quite strange. It's quite strange having youngsters coming up to you and going,
mm,
18-year-olds, 19-year-old kids going, what was Ian Curtis like?
yeah,
And I look at them and I think, he was just like you.
yeah.
He was 19.
The mural's still up in Manchester, isn't it? The in
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well,
mm,
supposedly it's going to be there forever,
yeah,
the mural, which I'm delighted about.
mm,
And believe you me, I will make sure that it lasts as well. We
yeah,
managed to get one in Stockport,
mm,
we've got one in Macclesfield,
mm.
and we've got one in Manchester now. So my next on my hit list is Salford.
Yeah,
To get an Ian
that'd be great.
Curtis mural up or a Joy Division mural up
Ah,
in Salford.
that'd
Yeah.
be great. We just want to touch on with the post-punk resurgence. Who are you most kind of? Who do you like at the minute?
I mean, I
So
don't,
is it?
I listen to a hell of a lot of music. I listen to a lot of dance music because I still DJ.
Mhm.
And I'm very happy with the way it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I hear loads that is obviously influenced by acid house,
Hmm.
and that again is a wonderful thing with the Hacienda. But I don't get to see. I mean, I don't get to see as many groups as I should. I should go and see more music. If
Yeah.
maybe if I didn't play so bloody much,
Yeah.
I probably would. But no,
Yeah.
I think that yeah, I think it's tough being in a group now. That's
Yeah.
what I'd say. But I think
Yeah. It
the
definitely
fact that,
seems that way.
as consumers, we get offered so much music. We are absolutely, absolutely spoilt for choice.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I bought two records the other day, vinyl. Brought them
Mm.
back from Mallorca for them. Look at that. Still in the wrappers. Hey,
Ah, lovely.
his first album in Led Zeppelin 4. Oh man, and I've got a queue of test pressings that I'm listening to at the moment. And I'm dying to get through these new order test pressings for the
Yeah.
Brotherhood box set so I can put these two on.
So, have you found a good record shop in Mallorca then? Is that?
Do you know what? Weirdly, it was a place called Muller, which
Mm,
specializes in cheap perfumes, right? This place, and it does
mm,
food and office supplies and stuff like
mm,
that. And we go in it a lot because it's local. And lo and
mm,
behold, they had these records, and I was looking through them, and it was like they'd got my record collection
mm.
and
Yeah.
decided to put it on sale. Oh my God, I could not believe it. The wife had to drag me out in the end. Really, really stocking up. But no, I mean, music's in a good place. There's
Yeah.
plenty of it, and that's the main
Yeah.
thing. I do think that groups have to look after themselves so much more than we did. We got to live
Mm,
the rock and roll dream.
yeah.
It's like me and Manny always say it all the time. All we had
Mm,
to do is turn up and somebody looked after us. Yeah. In
yeah.
every way. And a lot of the time we didn't even turn up sober. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but they still looked after you. So the thing
Mm,
is now, as a group, you have to be a manager, you have to be a record label, you have to be PR, you have to
mm,
market yourself, you've got to do the whole thing. It really has gone DIY.
yeah.
Absolutely, really, really. So it's a much more of a full-time job than me
Mm.
and Manny used to have staying upright. You know? So
Yeah.
God bless them. That's what I say. And if they want to use my legacy as an
Yeah.
inspiration, go for it, mate.
Wise words to close us
I
off.
hope so.
Yeah. No, thanks very much for your time, and
You're welcome,
hopefully
mate.
I'll get to see one of the dates in sorry,
Yeah,
October and November. So
come and say
yeah,
hello if
looking.
you'd make it.
Yeah. Thanks very
Yeah,
much,
you take
and
care of yourself.
yeah, all the best.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.